This is the romantic compatibility between a Taurus and a Leo. So Taurus is an earth sign, whereas Leo is a fire sign. So Taurus being earthy makes them very grounded and stable and down to earth and very dedicated, whereas Leo being fire is very passionate and they have very strong feelings and emotions and they get very fired up about everything. So there's definitely different perspectives when it comes to the two of them. Taurus being earth sign is very patient and very slow moving too, and they're kind of like step by step type of thinking, whereas Leo being fire sign can definitely become a little bit more impatient, and when they want something it's like they want it right now, whereas the Taurus is a little bit more like hold on, like it's going to take some time. So even though they're coming from different perspectives, this can be a good thing because they balance each other out. So the Taurus really grounds the Leo and really reminds them that good things take time and you have to sort of pace yourself and you can't accomplish everything at once. Whereas the Leo really brings like this exciting and passionate energy into the Taurus's life that they're definitely lacking, and reminds them that like there's joy to life, like there's things to get excited about, like it's worth getting passionate about something. So they balance each other out in that way. So Taurus and Leo are both fixed signs. So here's where they have that common ground. So these are two signs that are very focused and very fixated on something. So in some ways it could be bad if they're both on opposite sides of an issue. They can both become very stubborn about that issue and not let it go. But when these two signs have a shared goal, they can accomplish so much and they can get so far. And the Leo really brings that passion and from the heart, whereas the Taurus brings that like dedication from the physical world. And so the two of them, when they team up, they can really accomplish so much, especially if they're like working together or if they share like similar careers or something. They're just unstoppable when it comes to completing their goals. So Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus, the very sweet and loving and kind Venus. And Leo is ruled by the sun. And the sun is very like about the self and self-care and sort of like kind of feels like the whole world revolves around you. So in some ways it can clash because the Venus is very receptive type of energy, coming from the Taurus, whereas the Leo, being the sun, also can be receptive because they like kind of expect everything to revolve around them. So sometimes it takes a little while for, mainly at like the beginning of the relationship, it can take a little while for the first person to initiate things and or to make the first move or something. Typically like before the relationship has actually begun, it can take a while for someone to make that first move. But even though Leo is a little bit more receptive, being ruled by the sun, that is masculine. So at the end of the day, the Leo is more likely to finally take that initiative, although it's going to take them a little bit longer than maybe other fire signs. But Leo will probably the one to actually like take action and take control of the relationship. The Taurus being ruled by Venus, really just it's a very pleasurable planet. And so their love language is definitely like through gifts, through physical touch, through and as well as words of affirmation, but especially on the physical level, like the Taurus shows their love by like giving gifts or cooking food or just physical touch. Like it's a very nurturing and sweet type of energy. And I feel like the Taurus really likes to like check in with the Leo and be like, are you okay? And the Leo really appreciates that because they make self-care like a huge priority. So it's a very healthy dynamic in that aspect. Um, when it comes to the houses, Taurus is ruled by the second house of resources and duality, whereas Leo is ruled by the fifth house of children and play and creativity. So this is a very like Leo definitely brings like more fun and exciting energy into the relationship. And then Taurus is the one to actually take those ideas and manifest it into reality, manifest it on the physical plane. The yeah, and again, like the Taurus is very nurturing and very giving, and the Leo really likes that. The Leo really likes to be taken care of and feeling like they're comforted and nurtured. Um, so the Taurus is symbolized by the bull. So they're sort of, this is what makes the Taurus so stubborn. They will like run into something and like they'll run into a closed door and they'll just keep on like pushing again and again. And you know, even if the door doesn't even budge, they will just ram themselves into something over and over and over again. And yeah, it's just so stubborn. And but that's how they get things done because the Taurus just doesn't give up. The Leo coming with that fixed energy can also be kind of stubborn and like they refuse to give up, but at the same time, definitely not on the same level of stubbornness as the Taurus. So the Leo is ruled by the lion. So the lion is very dignified and they have a lot of strength, but they don't always know their own strength. So the lion is just very strong and very powerful, but they tend to underestimate this power that they have. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. So I feel like whenever conflict comes up, the Leo could sort of get kind of fired up, but then they're very quick to let it go and kind of move on. Whereas the Taurus, when they experience conflict, they're just going to keep going at it again and again until they can solve it, until they can let it go. Well, until the other person can let it go, because the Taurus just never lets it go. The Leo can sometimes they can get a little petty, but at the end of the day, the Leo is very dignified and they really care a lot about their ego and how they look. So ultimately, in an argument, the Leo will ultimately decide to take the high road and sort of let their Taurus win if they see how stubborn that their Taurus is being. The Leo would rather sort of look like the one who chose the more graceful path. And yeah, they might get a little petty at first, but ultimately they want to come off as very graceful and like, I tried my best, and then that's all. So the chemistry is definitely really good. I feel like the Leo is definitely brings a lot of passion into this relationship. And the Leo really brings this like physical chemistry and physical attraction with one another. And they might be the first one to kind of bring things to the bedroom and sort of get it to progress to that level. And the Taurus is going to be a little bit slower. The Taurus really likes to establish trust typically before they get intimate with someone. So the Taurus might move kind of slow, but they're very dedicated too. They're very dedicated lovers, and they really want to make sure that they have pleased their Leo. It's very important to them. And the Leo really wants to like look good in the situation. They are always trying to like take care of themselves and make sure they look good for their partner too. It's for the Leo, it's very important that they like keep up with their own appearance or just keep that attraction going. Like, it's very important for the Leo. But the Taurus is very dedicated, though. Like, the Taurus really doesn't need all of that flashiness, because once they commit to someone, like, that's it. So, like, yeah, when a Taurus has their mind set on someone, it's extremely difficult to get them to let go. The Taurus is just super dedicated, and it's a very strong sense of commitment. And yeah, these are two type of zodiac signs that can be very different in some ways, but they definitely balance each other out. Overall, Leo brings that excitement, they bring that passion and fun type of energy, and the Taurus is very sweet and very like dedicated to this relationship, and the Taurus is the one who is likely to like harness this energy, harness this passion, and turn it into something that's actually long lasting. And yeah, I definitely see like a very long lasting commitment for the two of these signs. So thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out other signs too, like your moon sign, maybe your rising sign if you resonate with that, and definitely check out your Venus sign as well.